Well, in this particular podcast series, we've tried to tie everything back to this unique historical moment in time as well. And so I'm wondering, how has the past year possibly shifted or reaffirmed your school's commitments to teaching young children? It's clear that y'all were ahead of the game on the outdoor spaces and reimagining spaces all around the school. A lot of us are coming out of the pandemic realizing, yes, we need to reimagine the spaces we have. We were forced to do that in the pandemic. But for you all, how has it reaffirmed or shifted some of your commitments and philosophies?
Well, sure. I mean, the outdoors is an important part here, and it has helped us in that way. But I think actually, I think it's given us a greater compassion toward each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think, when the pandemic happened and we were going to be out of school and we were going to be relying on Zoom for community.
Yeah.
And it was just so, I don't know, it was overwhelmingly wrong in my head. It was really hard for me to think about how we were going to do this, because we knew that we weren't going to put kids in front of a screen for the whole day. We knew that our kids weren't going to be able to do that. That wasn't going to be right for us. And so finding that balance of what is it in a day that's really essential, and then sort of finding ways to distill that to children while being compassionate for whatever's happening in each household. We would come I felt like it was such an incredible honor every morning to be invited into everybody's household for morning meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't get to see, little Timmy in his pajamas, with his little Cheerios in front of him, his mother padding around behind. I mean, it was invasive.
All of the pets.
Yeah, all the pets, absolutely. And, somebody walking through the house with their computer, with their iPad, whatever, because we're just not a big technology school. We're not a big tech-driven school. Mm-hmm. And so seeing how families made that work, and also seeing how families said, listen, this is not going to work for us. And then having to adjust, having to find ways to give that sort of one-to-one personal education that we're focused on here to kids across the computer. And it really did ask us to think deeply about what was important.
Yeah.
And I think that we're cellularly changed by that. And I think we're changed in a lot of really good ways. And so I don't want to minimize the damage of what's happened to our friends and families and people all over the world. But on some afternoons, I do have to be grateful.
Yes.
Because were it not for COVID, we wouldn't know these things so well about ourselves. We wouldn't have been forced to grow in uncomfortable ways. Mm-hmm. And we also would never have started the Education Idea Lab because we didn't have time. And because of that, we have been able to learn from people that we never would have had contact with, or might not have had contact with for years and mm-hmm. years. Mm-hmm. I was daily shocked at the people that would return my call. Because we were all home and looking at ways to share what we were doing.
And eager for collaboration and connection with other passionate professionals.
Yeah. And I also think that coming back, every child, every educator here, and probably every child and every educator everywhere feels so much more grateful for just the opportunity to be together.